In the side quest Steel Resolved in Emerald, Stair, and Avowed, you have a lot of different options that shape the outcome of your game and also the outcome of the actual questline itself. Now, most of the quest is straightforward, but there are key points that you are going to have to make critical decisions. I'm going to take you through all those different decisions and the outcomes, so let's get into it. Now, there are a few ways to start this questline, but the main easiest way to start this questline is at the Ranger's headquarters. All you have to do is make your way over to here and talk to these two that are going to have the exclamation point above their head, signifying that they have a questline for you. What they're basically going to be mentioning to you is that there is a traitor in the ranks that are getting rid of some of the other Rangers in this area. All you have to do is go and investigate two different individuals and figure out what happened to them and their partner. As soon as you accept the questline, you'll have two markers to go and talk to these two different individuals. First is going to be Ranger Casagrada, and I'm probably butchering their name, but just go with me. As soon as you go and talk to him, you basically need to find out what happened to his partner. There are a couple different ways to go through this dialogue, but basically you need to figure out a location of where his partner was and where you can go and investigate to try and find out more about what happened to them. Now, not a lot of the dialogue in this particular conversation with Casagrada is important, but it is something you can do to get more information about the backstory of this entire questline. Following the directions from Casagrada at the coast, you are going to be given the tracking location to go and investigate the abandoned homestead, which is going to bring up a very difficult fight, but once you take care of the people in this area, you'll be able to go and free Ranger Verano, who was a ranger that was supposed to be working with Casagrada, and he ended up getting captured because Casagrada actually ran away when the fighting started. You'll be able to get some information from him around the traitor that you're looking for, but it really isn't actually a lead that you can follow through. It's basically just a dead end, and you have to go on to the next person to get more information. That second person is Ranger Dorso, a more experienced ranger out of all the other rangers that you usually come across. Now, another thing that you're going to have to know about Ranger Dorso is that their companion went missing, usually known for going off by themselves, though when she returned from a previous excursion into the woods, they did not come back with her, and now of course the upper command is now curious of what happened to him. Her information leads you into an ogre's cave where you're going to have a lot of different fights going on, and this one is a little bit more tricky simply because he's a massive tank and he summons other things that summon more things for you to fight. So you do the fight however you want to, but my recommendation is sneak up behind him, use your stealth attack to take a good chunk off of him, and as soon as some of the enemies that are summoned that summon other enemies, I highly recommend you focus them first to make this fight a lot easier. Now, if you're under leveled, this fight will be a little difficult, but I believe in you guys. Once you have finally defeated the ogre, you'll see a glowing item for Ranger Monado. That is the ranger that went missing with Dorso, and obviously it's going to be giving you a lot of information about what occurred the past couple days, but it will also give you hints on where to pick up the trail for that traitor that you are tracking for the Ranger command. Now, this first location that the journal tells you to go is going to be right outside of the city, and it's also going to be marked on your map, but instead of an exact location, you need to go and search. What you want to do is find this giant tree right across from the capital, where you will be able to find this clandestine note that will talk about an actual meeting location that is not too far from where this tree is. Now, don't worry, this tree isn't really all that hard to find. Now, this is the part of the questline, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, where you want to save and really pick your options very carefully because you are going to meet the traitor who ends up being Ranger Dorso. You are going to have several different options on how you want to deal with Ranger Dorso if you decide to hear her out or if you strain on attack her, which attacking her is one of those options. Now, attacking her is definitely not the one I recommend you go with because you really don't get a lot off of her body, and it makes it much more interesting later on down the line for this particular questline and later if you do one of the other two options. One option is actually to help Dorso out with her crazy plan to take over Fior with the Steel Garrote, and this will affect some of the outcomes later on in the main story. What those changes are, I'm not going to spoil in this video because we're going to focus on the video, but it does have an effect later on, just so you can keep that in mind as one of the options. Now, the other one is obviously going to be the very bottom one. I'm going to spare your life, but I never want to see you again. Basically, let her live, but she is then sent into exile, which basically is the worst decision for her because she is absolutely devastated with this. None of these options have an immediate effect on this side quest, so whatever you want to choose for your future inside of your playthrough is totally up to you. Once you are done with Dorso with whatever outcome you decided to pick, make your way back to the captain that actually gave you the questline in the first place. And again, I highly recommend you save before talking to these three because it will depend on your choice what the outcome and rewards for this questline are going to be. You can tell the truth and pin it on Ranger Dorso. You can frame Ranger Casagrada when he actually has done absolutely nothing, and you can also lie that you ran down the lead, and there is no murderer in the Rangers. If you do anything to actually pinpoint it on Casagrada, you will get the One Last Trick +1, which is a unique rifle that's just a little bit better than any other version. However, if you pick this option, your entire party will be mad at you, and it will come up every now and then as you go through the game on how disappointed they are about the fact that you picked this option when it really wasn't a needed option in the first place. If you tried the other lie, they're basically going to dismiss the fact that there wasn't any murder, and they're basically going to have to pick another one of the options anyway, leaving you with the final option of actually pinning it on the right person, which is Ranger Dorso. This is going to give you the unique rifle again, but the unique twist here was if Dorso was killed when you attacked her, or if you let her go, it's going to change the rarity that you get of the One Last Trick. If you do decide to let her go, run into the woods and exile, you will actually get the One Last Trick +1, but if you do kill her, you will not get the +1 on the One Last Trick. It's a very interesting choice, but it has a very slight change, and it's totally up to you if you want to go that far or not inside of this small quest line. So no matter what choice you end up going with, this is the One Last Trick, and again, it depends on if you get it in a higher quality or not. As you can see, I have a regular quality, but again, it's totally up to you if you want to go that far, and that's specifically inside this quest line. You'll be upgrading this thing anyway if you do end up deciding to use it. This quest line goes really fast if you focus on it, and it's a fun quest line in my opinion, but let me know what you guys think about it down below in the comments. I hope you guys found this walkthrough guide helpful. If you did find it helpful, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below so I know that you did find it helpful. I'll be covering a bunch of different side quests and some other hidden unique items throughout each of the regions inside of Avowed so that you can find them as well very easily. Once again, I hope you guys found this walkthrough guide helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video.